Welcome back to the Ultimate Fitness Network. I'm Kenyon Glover, your host. This is my co-host for today, Keith Michelson. As you can see, we're in the kitchen. We're cooking it up today. We focusing on nutrition today, eating right. Not only is working out important, getting in the gym, but you also have to treat your inside of your body right. Put in the right nutrients, ingredients, and all of that healthy, good stuff. So Keith is gonna work with us today and working on our nutrition. So Keith, what are you preparing for us today?
What I have going already right now is I put some broccoli steaming in the pot here. What I have done is I put just a little bit of water in the bottom. We don't have a steamer, so I just put about maybe an inch of water in.
Okay.
Let it start to boil. I drop the broccoli crown in there, and then I put a lid on it. And it'll help steam it. Helps keep the nutrition in there if you steam it rather than just boiling it in plain water. So that's
Gotcha.
already going.
Okay.
Put a yam in the microwave. What we did is we washed it, put some holes in the yam with a fork. That helps prevent it from exploding because it has to let some of the moisture and stuff out as it's heating up.
Okay.
And now what we're going to do is go ahead and put a steak on the frying pan.
Okay.
And what I've done is already put some cooking oil in the pan. You could probably use a little bit of olive oil too because it's a healthy fat.
Okay.
I avoid butter and stuff like that. I'm just going to
Ooh, nice.
put the steak in there.
Ooh, that's juicy right
It is
there.
juicy. It's a nice steak. If you're not sure what type to buy, what I've done is I asked like the butcher at the store and say, well, what's a good steak for the grill, or I can fry up and stuff like that, so you get something that's a little bit more tender.
Okay.
Kenyon was asking me earlier today too. It's like, well, how do you know how well your steak is done?
Right.
There's a little trick you can do. Is what you do is to test the doneness of the steak. Is you can actually just kind of like press on it and see how squishy it is.
Oh, okay.
And you can compare that to your hand. If you take your hand and make like a fist, and like right now I'm taking my pointing finger and pressing on the heel of my thumb,
Yeah.
that's sort of like a rare. So if it's about that squishy feeling or presses down like that, your middle finger would be medium, and then your ring finger would be, it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard to, right there, so that would be a well done steak.
So well done is the best way to cook it, because I know a lot of people like to eat it either raw or rare or well done or medium rare. So what's the best way to eat a steak, healthy wise?
Steak is, it doesn't really matter that much with steak. It's how much, what you like. Okay, I like it more rare, the medium rare. How about you? What do you like?
I like well done.
He likes well done. We're not going to agree
Well
on this
done.
at all. The healthiest part though is I eat steak maybe once or twice a week because I'm trying to stick to a little bit higher protein content in my food. So it's a good source of protein. So it's basically how you season it. So it's like just some cooking spray. I just put a little salt and butter on there. And excuse me, salt and pepper. I don't use butter at all. And maybe a little bit of garlic powder sometimes too.
Okay, so no butter.
No butter.
No butter.
Stay away from the butter. The butter has got all the high fats and bad fats in there for you and stuff.
So even with your broccoli, I know a lot of people like, is it cheese? Cheese on their broccoli? I think butter with their broccoli.
I avoid all that. All I do is I just put a little bit of salt on it.
Just a little salt.
The worst thing is even like with the yam,
Yeah.
even though it's a carb, it's a good source of fiber, but you ruin it if you put butter or other stuff on it. So I eat it plain.
Oh,
I like
okay.
it plain.
So plain broccoli, okay. Yeah, it's more healthy for you
Yeah.
instead of all
I
that
mean,
other stuff, extra stuff.
If it's something new to somebody, what you can do too, let's say like in the broccoli, a couple times I might get some Parmesan cheese and just
Yeah.
sprinkle Parmesan cheese on there,
Yeah.
something like that. Another thing that I've done before too is like I want to add some variety or different taste to my food is I'll get some salsa and use salsa instead.
Oh, okay.
So, that's something you can do. Like if you eat a lot of rice,
Yeah.
you maybe mix a little salsa in with it. That's a good way to go.
Oh, that's
Because it's a little bit, it's lower fat. There's no, you don't have to worry about the calorie content. And
So
stuff.
we have the steak cooking, we have the broccoli cooking, and the yam is in the microwave. Now what about the yam? So is it a particular way you can eat your...
What I do is I try to weigh my food too. Like I try to eat maybe for each meal, maybe like 6 to 8 ounces of meat. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not sure how big this steak is. It's probably about an 8-ounce steak.
Okay.
Include at least a cup of some sort of vegetable. So I usually use a measuring cup, and then also like the yams or the carbs I use like maybe a cup and a half 3 times a day.
Okay.
So that's a big thing because everyone eats. Even if you eat healthy, if you eat too much of it,
Right.
you're not going to lose the weight. So you have to like have that portion size in there. And if you go to restaurants and stuff, the portions are huge.
Oh, yeah.
So you walk away with a huge quality of food. So it
Yeah.
all depends on what it is.
So it's good to eat small portions a lot of meals a day, but small portion
Yeah.
meals a day.
Yeah, I eat about 4 or 5 times a day at least.
Small portions.
Small portions.
Gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. And that's why I have to measure it too or weigh it. Because if I get out of the habit of not, it's like
Yeah.
you said too, I'll just put a little bit more.
Yeah.
And pretty soon you're like back to where you were
Right,
before,
right.
back to your old habits. So it takes a while to get used to it.
So I have heard of that the more times you eat a day is better for you. Like for eating 4, 5, 6 times a day, it's good. It's just that you have to eat small portion meals.
Yeah.
Don't try to overdo it every time you sit down to eat. Eat small portions, like maybe sit down and eat maybe like a cup of rice or brown rice. I think brown rice.
Brown
is
rice
healthy.
has a higher fiber content.
Yeah. Like Keith was saying, eat, maybe not the whole steak, but maybe like a portion of the steak.
Yeah.
Piece of broccoli, yam, but not just try to overdo it, overstuff yourself. Try to keep it small, so therefore, you keep it healthy, keep your body healthy.
Yeah, and I try to go for higher fiber foods like the brown rice, the regular long cooking oatmeal, things like that. They digest slower in your system, and so your body doesn't get that rush of the glucose and the sugar in the blood, which when it does, is it doesn't know what to do with it, so it tries to store it as fat. So you want to go with things that digest slower in your system.
Okay.
So that's how I do that.
So I want to get a shot of the beautiful steak cooking right now. Get a shot of the broccoli and the yam that's to come, because that steak is looking really nice right now.
You are going to eat it, right?
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna eat it. Yes. So I'll let you be in the kitchen, do your thing, and like I said, I'm gonna come back and get a few shots of you cooking, doing your thing.
Okay.
All right, so here is the finishing touches of this beautiful steak. Let me zoom in on this beautiful steak right here. Oh man, this is nice. And that's a well done steak, correct, Keith?
Yes, it's well done.
I can see that. Nice piece of broccoli and yams. Like he said earlier, poke some holes in it, as you can see.
Yep.
He poked the holes. And the beautiful broccoli right there. And you have yourself a good meal, healthy meal. But don't eat all of the steak. Eat a portion of the steak. Correct, Keith?
Yeah, that'd be good. Maybe half and then half a little bit later in the day or something.
All right. That is nice. And that concludes our show for today. It's been fun cooking with you, Keith. I appreciate all the healthy tips you've given me. Now I know I can eat a healthy steak. And man, I'm about to get my eat on right now, man. This looks good.
It looks good, yeah.
So, just to recap real quick, I guess tell everybody again, Keith, about the correct way to eat portions throughout the day, 4, 5, 6 portions, small portions, healthy portions. So just recap real quick, the type of portions they should eat, what kind of foods they should eat, like breakfast, dinner, lunch, like healthy meals though.
What I usually do is like for breakfast is you can have like some type of eggs, and usually egg whites. And what people don't like eating a lot of egg whites, so sometimes what I'll do is I might break a yolk or 2 in there to give it a little bit more of that real egg type of thing, which is not all white.
Okay.
And I usually have like a cup of oatmeal with it.
Okay.
Regular cooking oatmeal, it only takes about 5 minutes on the stove top to cook it, so it's like no big. You're not really saving that much time if it's a minute cooking stuff, so it's much healthier for you, digest slower. Mid-morning meals, I always have some type of protein, some type of small carb, maybe half, or like a cup of sweet potato, a cup of vegetables, the same kind of thing for dinner or lunch, afternoon, evening. So it's all about portion size and it's kind of like what you eat.
Okay.
I avoid the breads, the sugars, and all that kind of stuff. So also, if you get like hungry in between meals and you can't really eat, water is really good for you too, to kind of like give something into your stomach and help you fill up a little bit like that. So if you keep the portion sizes down, let's say like a cup of the carbs, a cup of vegetables with your meal, and maybe about 6 ounces of meat, somewhere in that range, you're doing good. And make sure that you cook it in a healthy manner. Don't put butter on anything, don't put a lot of oils and all that kind of stuff, and you'll be much better off.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, sounds good. There you have it, right there. So you have no excuse to eat healthy, all right? And that concludes our show for today. Until next time on the Ultimate Fitness Network, see you next. Peace.